You guys ready for a little bit of bonus content? I hope so, because we're talking Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad and scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad and scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
Hey guys, welcome back to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst in movies, and horror movies, not just movies, horror movies. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me as always, my co-host, my buddy, Mr. Aaron Southworth. I know I'm rambling fast, but you know what? Hey, fuck it.
It's because we just finished.
Night of the Living Dead 3D.
And we thought, you know what? Let's
Yeah.
do a little bonus
A
content.
little bonus content, yeah.
Because originally we watched Night of the Living Dead 3D, but then we watched Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation.
Holy shit.
So we watched both of them, but we
Yeah.
decided to just do the one.
Yeah, we originally thought we were gonna make it the other episode like a double feature thing, but then we decided, you know what, we're just gonna make this little bonus content because it's probably not gonna be that long. I mean, I'm hoping no more than 20 minutes at best. But we wanted to talk about this movie because it's a weird. It's so fucking weird. This genre of this movie, like, because. Okay, first of all, we did Night of the Living Dead 3D, which is a remake of Night of the Living Dead.
Correct.
And Night of the Living Dead, the 90s version.
And the Night of the Living Dead 3D movie that we did had a new character in it. And the character was Sid Haig's character. What was it, guys?
Gerald Tovar Jr.
Jared Tovar, Mr. Tovar.
Yeah.
So it's he's the guy apparently who helped start the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Is this guy who owns a funeral home, Gerald Tovar.
Yeah,
Jr.
I don't know if it's a funeral home or just a mortuary and crematorium. But who knows?
Whatever.
But the thing about this movie, and it is so weird, is again, it's Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation. So it makes it sound like it's a sequel to Night of the Living Dead 3D, but with the name of Reanimation, again, makes it sound like it's relaunching it, or it's a remake of a remake.
I did not know what to expect.
Exactly.
With this.
Like, is this a sequel? Is this a remake of the remake we just watched? But it turns out this is actually like a prequel to Night of the Living Dead 3D.
So these are all the events that led up to the outbreak.
Yeah, or
that caused the movie of
basically when this one ends, it's like this ends and then Night of the Living Dead 3D picks up like the next week or something, or the next day after this one ends, somewhere close by. Now, one of the big things about this movie, the Reanimation, is I don't like the name, and I think the only reason they named it that is because this movie also stars Jeffrey Combs of Reanimator fame. And I'm like, if that's why you named this movie Reanimation, because you have Jeffrey Combs in it, fuck you lazy piece of shit. Don't ride the Reanimator coattails. Like, come on, you can only ride that shit for so goddamn long.
Right.
Like, and it's not even a Reanimator. It has nothing to do with Reanimator or that series of movies. It just has Jeffrey Combs in it.
Right.
He's not even playing Herbert West. It's not Herbert West. He's just another Tovar.
Yeah.
He's the brother of Gerald Tovar, who was played by Sid Haig in the first movie.
But is now played by someone completely different.
Yeah, Sid Haig's like, fuck it, I'm not doing this movie again. The first one's a piece of shit. I'm not doing it again. What? Why is it's so confusing and it blows me away that they had the gall to make this movie, like to do this shit.
Well, we talked about the first one. I mean, if all accounts are correct, it made money. It made
a little
profit.
bit, yeah.
So it made some money. So you know what? Let's go for it again. What year was this movie made? Do you remember?
2011, I believe.
Yeah. So
it's 5 years after the original 3D
yeah,
remake.
It's tough to follow it that far away. You think that'd be kind of strange to do that, but here we are. We're back again, but this time it's
here
the
we are,
events.
we're back again.
Okay.
I don't know why it's weird, like it's a fucking Backstreet Boy thing, but
Okay.
Whatever.
But we're at the events leading up. Now, we didn't take any notes in this movie, so we're kind of like shooting from the hip.
Yeah,
here.
we're kind of going from fucking memory here, and it's been a while. Oh, you know what? I actually have a few notes on this movie that I'll bring up right now.
Yeah. But,
okay. First of all, Gerald Tovar Jr., who was played by Sid Haig, is played by Andrew Divoff in this one. He has 107 credits to his name. Now, basically, his whole career, he's played basically Russian bad guys. He's always like an evil Russian. He was in Air Force One with Harrison Ford, where he's like the main Russian villain. Another 48 Hours, Toy Soldiers. And he did play the villainous Jin, the bad guy in the Wishmaster series, 1 and 2 Wishmaster horror movies. Like I said, we have Jeffrey Combs plays Harold Tovar. And the two other people, one other person I'll mention is Diane, is played by Robin Sidney. Now, she's the full moon queen, basically. She's 42 credits. She's mostly known for playing Sarah Lee in the Ginger Dead movies.
I thought she looked familiar.
Yeah, all the Ginger Dead movies and all their spin-offs, she's Sarah Lee. And she's also been in a shit ton of other full moon movies. She's in a couple of the Killjoys, the Puppet Master movies. She's also in all the Evil Bongs 1 through 6. So the Evil Dead versus Evil Ginger Dead versus Evil Bong spinoff. She's, I guess, playing two characters.
Who knows? We haven't seen that one.
She's in this. This movie was also written and directed by Jeff Broadstreet, who directed Night of the Living Dead 3D. He didn't write that one, but he wrote and directed this one. And I was wrong. It came out October 16th of 2012. So 6 years after the other one. And if you really want to, guys, you can find it on Amazon, Vudu, YouTube, Google Play, and iTunes. Yeah, the rest of the notes I have aren't about the movie. It's just the odds and ends stuff I normally do at the end of the show.
So the guy who played Gerald Tovar Jr., please correct me if I'm wrong. You already read off some of his credits, but was he in Bloodlust Doll Parts? The one with the...
No.
He wasn't the villain with all the cell phones in that one?
No,
I could have swore he was.
No, fuck that guy's name. What is his name?
He sure looked like
No, trust me, I know that guy. That's the guy from Bloodlust, or Planet Dallas Bloodlust. He was the criminal bad guy dad from Kindergarten Cop.
That's right. Yeah.
So no, it's not that. It's not the
okay, but there was for a minute there I thought that was him.
No, it's not.
But he is a very familiar guy. Once you see him, like, oh yeah, I've seen him before.
Yeah, but he's nothing like, he's not a big name, but he's almost like, yeah, you've seen him. You've
probably seen him around before. So, to be perfectly honest, he doesn't phone it in.
No, I mean, Jeffrey Combs and this guy, it's not that acting's that bad. Like, for those two, it's not bad. The rest of the people kind of suck. It's really bad. Really bad. And we thought 3D was, like, the original one was bad. This one's worse. But let's talk about some of the other characters. First of all, the main girl in this one is basically a woman who comes to the mortuary applying for a job fresh out of mortuary school or mortuary college. And she's like, Tover's like, fine, whatever, you can work here. And then we also meet like the other staff. There's like a stoner guy who was in the first movie. He was Owen from 3D, from Night of the Living Dead 3D. I think he was Owen's brother. Or so he knows. I don't think he was Owen.
No, but it's the same actor. It's the same
actor.
Oh,
same actor.
Yes,
yeah, I thought you meant character. Yeah, same actor, but not the same character.
Yeah.
So we have this druggy guy who I guess ties in with the Cooper pot farm from the first movie. We have the fat, sassy secretary. But we also have the girl, Diane, who I guess is like the makeup girl who does the makeup for the...
She's kind of gothy. And,
she's a necro, as she prefers to be called a necro, as in she's a necrophiliac. She likes to fuck the dead guys in the morgue. And there's actually a scene of her doing that in this movie.
Yeah.
There's a scene of her fucking a dead guy in this movie.
I guess I missed that part when she called herself a necro.
Yeah.
I think I missed that part.
Yeah, I'm a necro. Like, yeah, that's like her big thing. But
how dare you call me God? I'm necro. I like to fuck the dead.
Yeah.
Well, bitch, that's illegal.
Yeah, that's fucking worse than being a god. Like, yeah. I mean, there's a scene where they all get like high on.
I didn't know if they were tripping or what.
Well, at first they make a thing like it's supposed to be just a joint, but like, oh no, you ever did you never did ecstasy before?
She does ride a corpse, like she's.
Oh no, she straight up fucks a corpse. Yeah. Now when she's just they clearly show her fucking a corpse. But that's when then the main girl is like high on ecstasy and like, all this shit's going on. But to set the premise, okay, this is in between we learned in the first movie that Tovar Sr. died at least 2 years ago. His son takes over the mortuary business and lets things go to shit, and that's where everything goes to hell. So at this point, Gerald Tovar Jr., who's played by Sid Haig in the first movie, his character, Jr., he's running the mortuary, but then Jeffrey Combs comes back into town, who's the brother, saying, hey, Dad died. I want my share of the inheritance.
He's looking for money.
Yeah.
He's on hard times. You know, Gerald Tovar got the he got the house, he got the business, he got the cars, he got everything to run the mortuary. He's like, I didn't get anything. I want a cut. I guess he's desperate for money. I guess he's on hard times. He possibly owes people money. He's very desperate.
Two things I want to say about that. One, you would think if again, it makes you think like, okay, this is 2 years ago then, because if you're coming back looking for money, you think you do that right after the guy dies, not like 2 years later saying I want my inheritance. It's like the timelines it doesn't make sense. But then when we first are introduced to Jeffrey Combs' movie, they kind of make it out like he's gonna be the asshole bad guy, like he's I want my money, I demand this share. But it turned out at the end like he's actually the good guy, like
sort of, yeah.
Because eventually he finds out, like, when he's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I'm putting a stop to this shit. Like, you can't be doing, like, when he finds out about the bodies and like
something about this movie, just as a general observation, is that it's poorly written.
Yeah,
incredibly poorly written.
Incredibly poorly written.
Slow.
Yeah,
little
can
blips,
we talk about that real quick? The slowness of this. For a zombie movie, like even like Night of the Living Dead, the both versions, you have the opening scene where you introduce the zombies, and it kind of slows down for a bit, the farmhouse, and then it picks up. But god damn, and even like the Dawn of the Dead remake in the Mall, and some of them have their downpours, and every movie does.
Sure.
But Jesus, this movie is so fucking like I don't think you even see a zombie really till.
No, it's relatively early. There still is a zombie. So we know that if you've seen the first one, you know that Gerald Tovar is, stashing bodies because he's terrified of fire, has a phobia about fire, and he doesn't want to burn the corpses. So he's yelling at his employee to always make sure the crematorium's locked and that no one goes in no one goes near the crematorium.
Right.
That's where he has the bodies stored. The employee does mention that the state inspector has come by and he's snooping around the place. And this makes Gerald Tovar lose his shit. He's like, oh my God, because he's afraid he's going to find out that he's been storing the bodies.
Yeah.
Gerald Tovar then goes and finds him, and he's cruising the graveyard sites.
He fucking kills the state inspector.
Yeah, well,
like no one's gonna come looking for this government employee.
Yeah,
like fuck it, just kill him.
This is where Gerald Tovar goes off with his shovel. He goes over the shovel to go find the state inspector. He sees the state inspector walking around, looking at the grave, like shaking his head, like this won't do, And then a zombie just pops up. Tovar sees it. He's like, let's see how this plays out.
Yeah.
The zombie goes and starts attacking the state inspector. Tovar comes and dispatches one zombie in a better effect. The effects are better. While the movie is still a shit.
Oh, the movie's so shit. Yeah.
The effects are at least better. At least you see good kills. Like he shoves it through his head and shovels off the part of his head. Kind of like in Reanimator, almost like he does.
Well, it also did the same damn thing in the previous movie, Night of the 3D.
But you see it penetrate through his head. So that was kind of cool. Then the state inspector's laying on the ground like, help me. And he goes, sorry.
Yeah.
Can't have you talk to anybody. And then he kills the state inspector.
Just kills him. Yeah.
So, but that's the first time you see a zombie. But then it's like a long gap.
It's like 50 minutes of just people sitting around talking. There's nothing. This is so slow and boring for a zombie movie. You forget it's supposed to be a zombie movie. It's just people sitting around talking. Like at one point, you might as well. I was going to compare to 12 Angry Men, but that's but not just people sitting around talking. But
at least it's dramatic.
Yeah, at least they did it well in that.
At least
movie.
it's intriguing.
Yeah, it's like it is the most boring movie. Like I fell asleep watching this. The first time I watched it, I fell asleep. Like, oh, Jesus, I have to go back and rewatch this shit again.
Yeah, it's an hour and 40 minutes, I think.
And
after about an hour, I stopped it because I was like, I can't keep watching it.
An hour for a movie is an hour of this movie. It's just people sitting around talking.
And it's weird because the actor who's playing Tovar is really trying, man. He's doing a good job.
I mean, there is a really good scene later where it's just Tovar with Junior and then his brother Jeffrey Combs sitting in like an office or something talking, and at this point I think Combs has kind of realized what's going on. He's like, you can't do this, I have to check. And then Junior's trying to plead his case and convince, like, no, what I'm doing. But it's actually really good. That's the best scene in the movie. But at the same time, it doesn't make up for the fact that the rest of it's so goddamn slow.
Right.
And even that scene, as good as it is, or I hate to say good because in grand scheme of things, it still sucks, but it's the best scene of this movie. It's still slow and still nothing happening.
Right.
And can we also talk about the weird political stance this movie takes?
Dude, the Sarah Palin character.
Yeah, like there's a straight up rip-off, like Sarah Palin parody.
I know.
In this movie is like, what? Like, what in a zombie movie like this is trying to make a political statement?
But this is the weird thing. I mean, this is Sarah Palin.
Don't you know?
Well, it was so weird because Sarah Palin was introduced in 2008 as John McCain's running mate when he was running against Obama when the presidential seat was open. It was going to be Obama or McCain.
Yeah.
And they introduced, like, Obama was winning the whole time. McCain was desperate, got Sarah Palin. And everyone's like, oh, Sarah Palin's crazy, But that was 2008. This is 2012.
4 years later.
It's like that Sarah Palin hype train maybe would have lasted until 2010 to kind of
Saturday Night Live wasn't even doing a Sarah Palin stuff.
Exactly.
They weren't even doing this anymore. They're like, nope, it's done over with. But fucking 2012,
let's get that old chestnut out.
Dumbass independent movie trying to make some weird political statement with Sarah Palin.
Yeah,
and this character's name is called Sister Sarah. Like, that's it. Like,
Sister
she a
Sarah.
nun now? Like, what the hell?
And she's got the whole you betcha. She's got the outfit, the
glasses,
hair, the
red,
glasses.
Yeah, it's what is happening?
But dude, she looks like she's straight up out of Nailin' Palin.
Yeah, yeah.
She's got big old titties.
Yeah,
she looks like she should be in one of those.
And then
porns.
I don't remember why, but for some reason, apparently Sarah Palin decides to pay visit to this mortuary out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
why would anybody go here?
They show like a newscast with her talking. So I guess it's like Fox News, and she's talking, and the mortuary, I guess, secretary is Tovar's aunt. She's this big, heavyset older woman. She kind of looks like an older Mimi from the Drew Carey show.
Yeah, she does.
She's this heavyset woman, but she's watching the show, and that's how we kind of first see her. Is that
she's on TV.
She's on TV, so you're guessing she's on like a Fox News.
Yeah,
which I'm guessing
it's a talking head, interview.
Right, but you think those would be based in New York, L.A., maybe Chicago, a major metropolitan city.
Yeah,
not
definitely.
out in the middle of fucking nowhere, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. But exactly, so Palin, this political senator, then I guess at this point, shows up at this mortuary for some unknown reason.
It was her car broke down.
Okay.
And they helped, so her car
Even if her car broke down, a senator would have a motorcade, or she'd have somebody with her. She would be
It wouldn't be by herself.
She wouldn't be going to a fucking mortuary by herself.
In the middle of nowhere.
No, there'd be like an escort, a secret service. There'd be an assistant maybe.
Yeah.
There would not be Sarah Palin not walking up by herself to this fucking mortuary.
Right. She would have an entourage.
Exactly.
Yes.
Her publicist, there'd be a whole team of people.
There'd be an entourage with her.
But she shows up. Of course, she ends up getting killed eventually somewhere in the movie by a zombie. It's so weird. Like, why is this even in this movie?
It's really strange. Like, you're right. There's this weird, I can't tell if they're poking fun at right-wing Christian fundamentalists or almost embracing them, because they don't make the differential stark enough. And it's just like the same thing. You have this wacky character that's portraying Sarah Palin, and it's not like any other parts of the movie are wacky or weird. You're missing the mark, man. If you're going to go wacky fun, you got to have the whole movie be wacky fun.
Yeah, but it's not. The rest of the movie is so slow.
And it's not even the wackiness part. It's not even that wacky. It's just bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not wacky, but yeah, having a girl fucking a dead guy, I guess, like, oh, that's wacky, let's have that, and we'll have drugs and all this stuff. It's like, but it's not. They fail on every aspect. Like, this Jeff Broadstreet guy, I'm sorry, man, I apologize, but he's missing his mark, or whatever his vision is for these movies is not coming through very well.
Right.
Like, I don't know what this guy is trying to do with these movies anymore. Like, the first one he didn't write, he just directed it. But this one, he wrote and directed it. So he's to blame for everything in this movie. Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to prove with this.
Yeah, I don't get it. But, so, State Inspector comes by, State Inspector gets killed. He hires this lady to be the new mortuary person. And kind of like Marshall said, Jeffrey Combs comes in, and there's just a lot of talking. Sarah Palin pops in for a while. Yeah. Basically, Jeffrey Combs goes and sees that Tovar is got that, he finds out the secret, and he tells him, he's like, I've been keeping bodies, and they're coming back to life. There's zombies, and there's a kind, like we talked about that scene where they are talking. There's a good scene where Jeffrey Combs, or the other Tovar brother, says, "Oh yeah, zombies. Yeah, it happened in 1967, and again in 1973, and again." He's naming off all the Romero movies.
Yeah, exactly.
And he goes, and something similar happened again in 1990.
Exactly.
So he's naming all the years.
A Night of the Living Dead movie,
like Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Like,
the remake.
Yes, that's kind of fun. And he even mentions, and Pittsburgh's the epicenter, and that's where George Romero is from. He's from Pittsburgh. Yeah. So it's like, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that, but that's, again, just some fun little nugget.
Yeah, there was speaking of nugget, there was a nugget. Maybe a nugget, but I remember in the first movie, I didn't go. There was one of the reviews I didn't read for that, but one guy who was like just gushing over zombie shit was talking about how, and he was one of these annoying, like, zombie purists, I guess, or like purist, like, he's like, or not even that, but he's a pretentious ass. He's like, high and mighty, like, I know all the zombie movies and I'm so great, but he rated his review, like, they make a reference to even the old movie Zombie, just the movie that, Zombie the movie.
Oh, the Felucci movie.
Yeah, but he's like, but only a real zombie fan would understand that reference. And basically all it says is, because I think Owen in the first movie says something about when they're zombies, like unless you're in Haiti or something like that, or it makes some reference to Haiti from where that movie took place, the voodoo and all that. And it was like, really, shut up. Like,
yeah, fucking. I don't know. When people start talking about Felucci, when they start talking about zombie, I mean, I've seen it. I get it. Sure, it's weird. Yeah.
I feel the same way about Dario Argento or whatever his name is. Like, people in the horror movie are talking, like, just love, like, sucking this guy's dick, and like, he's the greatest. And I've seen some news like, I don't get it. Like, I get the horror movies. I get some of them are kind of weird, and but like,
I think people just like them because they're a little weird, a little off. There's a different take on.
I don't see why I've not yet seen, like, I haven't seen Suspiria or whatever, the one that's supposed to be oh my god, but the one I have seen of Dario Argento, I'm like, all right, whatever. He's not like the almighty horror god.
But they're different. They're unique. They definitely have a style about them. Yeah, and I think people just appreciate that it's a particular style.
Yeah. Can we also also in this one, Reanimation, we also introduced to Tovar Sr., the zombie dad.
Yes.
Because he still has, we meet zombie dad for the first time in this movie. We see him the first time in the previous movie, but he's decayed.
Way more decayed.
But again, makes no sense because the timeline between the two movies is really like right on top of each other. But in this one, the Reanimation one,
he looks way more.
He's more normal. He's more human. He's still got like facial hair.
He's still got his mustache, and his hair looks great.
And he's not at the Tovar house. He's like in the mortuary's office.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why are you just keeping him in the office? Like, aren't people going to come in there and see that? Isn't your secretary going to hear a zombie in the back going all day long? Like, that's got to be the worst place to try to hide your zombie father.
Right.
Like, what? But that's how Combs dies.
Yeah.
Like, he feeds his brother to Zombie Dad.
He says, don't get too close, but he gets too close to Zombie Dad. Zombie Dad takes a bite out of his neck somehow.
Yeah.
So Tovar brother goes running off and falls into the open grave of his dead father, of his father's open grave. And man, it's the shittiest effect.
So bad.
My God. He's obviously laying down on a green screen.
Yeah, he is.
They just have this shitty, like, whole, like, open grave effect around it. But man, it's like part of his legs are also dirt. The other part of his face looks like it's really bad.
It's so bad.
It's really bad.
It's like a 5-year-old got a hold of a green screen program for the first time.
Right.
It's like, hey, look what I did, Daddy.
You gotta touch that shit up, man. I mean,
it's so bad.
or just cut the frame, because dude, it's bad. It's really bad. Like, I had to stop it and like, what am I looking at? It's just like a magic eye effect.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
You have to let your eyes go cross-eyed there and blurry.
I started getting a little bit of a headache. Yeah.
So yeah, basically though everybody dies except for Tovar Jr. because he has to live on to be in the prequel, which is really the
to
sequel,
go on to
be in the.
Basically, he has to lose all of his hair,
Yeah.
grow a giant beard,
gain a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
His face got a bit rounder in face. He's got to change into a whole new person. He's got to become Sid Haig.
Exactly.
In like a week.
He's got a little bit of eating to do.
Yeah. But it's so. I don't know, man. Like what? All right, before we'll wrap it up, but here's let me finish out with the notes I had for this.
Sure.
The odds and ends stuff I did write down. So the ratings for Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation, IMDb gives it a 3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, nothing on the site, no surprise. Amazon gives it a 2.8 out of 5. Plot keywords, there were 24.
Oh, wow.
I only wrote down 2 because they make no sense to me. I don't even know what the fuck they're supposed to be. But it's Tatra and Tatra 87.
Did you look it up?
No. It's Tatra and and then the second one is one where then Tatra with the number 87 behind it is the second one.
I have no idea.
I don't even know what that is. I've never heard of that word. I don't know what that's supposed to be or how that even relates to this fucking movie.
Yeah.
No idea. But so that's
now I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so
I can't believe you didn't look it up.
I probably did at the time. I just don't remember. I remember this was like 3 weeks ago when I did this. Trivia, there was nothing.
Yeah, that hiatus we took, it wasn't exactly planned.
So 5-star reviews. All right, there are 50 total reviews on Amazon. 18% were 5 stars, with 26% being 1 star.
Huh.
Now, this one I did write some 5-star and 1-star movies.
Nice.
And reviews down. So the 5 stars are as follows. From That Detective Girl. So it's not too shabby a film, and if you're as much of a fan as I am of Andrew Davoff and Jeffrey Combs, you'll want to see this movie. That being said, I very well enjoyed every scene they were in. They made the movie fun to watch. So I'm giving it 5 stars only because of them. From Vegito 4. I like this movie. I am a big zombie fan. The movie was good and I like the scripts on it. Scripts.
I wonder how many rewrites this had.
Yeah. The actors were okay, but the rest was great. 5 stars. Okay, if you like the scripts, apparently multiple, and the actors were okay, what's left to be great? It's like what's left to be great out of that? Anyway, here we have a celebrity here from James Belushi.
Ooh.
The combination of Night of the Living Dead series with Jeffrey Combs' Reanimator. Amazing! Can't wait for the sequel. 5 stars. Can you imagine a sequel of this? Granted, the sequel would be Night of the Living Dead 3D, which was actually came out first.
Yeah.
But what would you name it? Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation, Reanimated again? Like what?
Dawn of the Reanimation.
Dawn of the Reanimation.
Yes,
Jesus Christ!
There you go.
There you go. From Daniel Rogers, I love to watch horror movies. I got a whole stack of horror DVDs. This one, Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation, is very good. I watch this movie more than ever. It's worth to buy. 5 stars.
I like how you put just a hint of Southern. Not all the way, just a hint. Like he's from Northern Kentucky.
Oh, and a regular in our review section is back. The movie guy chimes in again on this one. And he gets political in his review on this.
Oh, is it in reference to the characters? Yeah. Okay, let's see what he's got.
The zombie metaphor is brought into the realm with references to former VP Cheney being a zombie. There are negative references to the Tea Party, hashtag Tea Baggers.
That's true.
The Drudge, or Grudge Report. Fox, or in the movie, Fixed News with Sarah Palin, a.k.a. Sister Sarah, who is played by a you betcha Denise Duff, down to the red jacket stolen from Admiral Kirk. Later, she will crave brains. There is political satire at work, an aspect which might make the film more or less enjoyable depending on one's leanings. 5 stars. And that was just a smidge of it. I brought that one. He wrote a long shit.
Yeah, he does bring up a good point. Yeah, it's he seems to be kind of poking fun at the right wing, like at the feverish right wing, but he's not going that hard. You know, it's just kind of because Jeffrey Combs is a sympathetic character, and he likes Sister Sarah, and he's like that. They do talk about a Tea Party bus that crashed on their way to a protest, and these people died, and they wound up at the it's fine
tea baggers.
Yeah, and you go. Tovar Jr. is calling them teabaggers. He doesn't like them, but Tovar, the other brother, played by Jeffrey Combs, is like, no, these are good Americans. You know, and he seems to be kind of a good guy too. So are you hating on him? Are you liking him? Are you just trying to play both sides of the coin?
And then they change Fox News to Fixed News. The Drudge Report becomes the Grudge Report. But yeah, there's, like I said, there's so much weird political shit in this movie that's like,
which I don't mind,
really?
But just
in a zombie movie, you're gonna make a political statement.
If you're gonna do it. You know,
I guess. And if you remember from our previous episode of this, Mr. Sam Hain is back with once again a simple review of Zombies. 5 stars again, exact same review.
That's funny.
So I wonder if you just went through like every zombie movie and just put zombies. Okay, on to 1-star reviews. Anna Kay just writes, ridiculously stupid movie. I agree. John McQuaid writes, I had no plans of writing a review for this film as I hope to put it out of my mind forever. Then Amazon sent me an email asking me to review it. I thought that if I could prevent one person from watching this movie, then I could die happy. This film has nothing to recommend to save the presence of Jeffrey Combs, and he looks like he's only in it for a grocery minute. The rest of the movie is crap with virtually anything else. Watch virtually anything else, you'd be happier. 1 star. And from Amazon customer, the word bad is not deep enough to describe this mess. Never mind, the story makes no sense and the effects are a joke. The acting, quote unquote, could have been done by a kindergarten drama group and been done better. There really is no point to this unless you are really, really drunk. I made the mistake of buying it on DVD. Avoid this like the plague. 1 star. So that's all notes I took in this movie. So basically let's wrap this up then.
Did you have a favorite kill?
Honestly, it's been so long ago, I don't remember the kills. I'm going to say no, because I don't remember them.
My favorite kill was probably the Mimi character. She got bit. She comes back as a big fat zombie, and a guy takes a chemical, and I guess it's acid? Why the fuck would you ever need this? But he throws it on her stomach, and shitty effects start erupting from her stomach. Oh,
yes!
And it burns a hole clean through her.
Yeah.
Which ends up killing this zombie.
Which, again, makes no sense.
Which makes no sense. Unless she fell and hit her head. That's a stretch.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I forget. You're right. I would say that's
so corny, but I love watching her. Like when acid hits her, she's like, she's just like, she's such a fat lady and she's jiggling around all crazy. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
But that's a great point. Like, even with the effect of the acid burning through the stomach, you're right. It's a zombie. It wouldn't kill it.
No.
It should still just be coming for you. Again, that makes some nothing in this movie makes any sense. It's awful through and through.
So. Okay, I'll give you my thought on it. Yeah, so bad it's scary.
Yeah, exactly. So bad. I agree. We'll get back. So we're both saying so bad it's scary.
But the movie had this boring. It's long. It's boring. Come on, what's going to happen? There's 10 minutes left in the movie. I started like pausing and like, how much longer is this movie? Mind you, I already stopped it once.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's 10 minutes left in the movie. They're finally going to go in and, because one of the one stoner guy went into the crematorium, and it's all that's left is Tovar and the original gal who signed up to be the to be the mortician.
Yeah.
And he said, well, if I knew there was half a chance in hell, I'd go in there and save him. And she said, well, isn't there a chance? And he's like, okay, let's go in. So they go in to save him. He's dead. Everyone's dead. Honestly, all they have to do is go, well, he's dead.
Yep.
They have to turn around and leave.
Yeah, that's all they have to do.
But for some reason, they don't. They just stay in there for another couple minutes, and then he starts shooting from his unlimited shotgun from fucking Resident Evil. After you beat the game once, you got unlimited ammo, and he just starts going to town. Ba-boom, ba-boom, boom. Dropping them. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Just dropping them over and over and over again. Why didn't he fucking do this in the first place? If he's scared about just burning them, why doesn't he just fucking dispatch them?
Yeah, you're right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, again, you're right. Nothing in the script makes sense. There's so many weird-ass plot holes. And then, I don't know. Like I said, it's been a while, but doesn't he just kill the girl, too?
Yes, this is what happens.
It's like he just shoots her, too,
she doesn't get bit. She gets like knocked over. She's a little dizzy. They escape the room. He takes her to the office. He pulls a cup out of a drawer.
Oh, he drugs
with like
her.
a little bit of liquid in it, and he pours it into a cup. He goes, "Here, drink this." She goes, "What is this?" She's like, "It's one of those energy drinks." She's like, "I don't like this." She's like, "No, it's like Red Bull. It'll give you some pep. You'll feel better." She's like, He got it out of a fucking drawer.
Yeah.
In a tiny vial.
Yeah, no.
And then she drinks it, and then she's like, oh.
Yeah, he poisons her.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, okay, now that we said that, I do remember watching this movie. I know I was going to say, is that at this point, she knows he's been lying about all this stuff. Like, I wouldn't be drinking a goddamn thing this man hands me.
I don't care if it's a fucking sealed can of Coke.
Yeah.
He pulls a fucking vial out of a desk drawer.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll drink that.
Fucking hell.
And like in a mortuary full of chemicals, and like, fuck, this, she deserves to die. That's stupid.
Yes,
Are you seriously going to drink that? Like, nobody in their right mind would drink anything this man would hand you in that situation.
God.
So he kills her just like Tovar kills fucking Barb or tries to kill Barb.
He's like, you'll be back. You'll come back. I'll take care of you. Mm-hmm. This is where you can kind of tell he's officially gone off the deep end now.
And it ties, and they try. I guess that's where they try to tie it into the first movie, Sid Haig and his theories. But yeah, this movie, so bad scare for both of us, guys. I know you said this was gonna be. We just wanted to rant about this movie for a little bit. It's not gonna be a full length episode, so we're gonna probably wrap it up here. But with this bonus content, but we'll be back, for full length regular episodes. We're coming back soon, so look for that. In the meantime, guys, remember to watch more horror movies and to always keep it tight.